Hello YouTube, Gandalf here. Infinite Magic Raid community, we have gotten the Melchio rework. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. You can tell me in the comments below. He is the Wizard Eye Mystic. This dude here. Now, we barely see him in gameplay prior to this rework. Um, I don't even think I cover him much on my PvP tier list, but that's because we were all waiting for his rework. So the rework is finally here. He is a very unique hero that doesn't have any cooldowns, and he used a very unique mechanic to be able to amplify each of his skills. The rework has done a lot to him, made him a lot stronger, and made him viable in the sense that he gets to cycle between his strongest skill quite a bit. So let's dive into the video right away with some realistic stats and realistic compositions that you'll be facing, and we'll put him to the limit on the test. Unfortunately, I haven't got him built yet, but I do plan to build him as soon as I hit the 250 Mystic shards. I'm at 215 right now, so in my future gameplay that you'll see, you will definitely see him in my PvP teams. And one hero he will definitely be replacing will be Geeliman. I do believe he's a stronger unit than um, Geeliman, and it's now becoming accessible to all heroes. And guess what? I mean, Geeliman you have to pull for her, but Melchio is a mystic, so that means it's a guaranteed pull. We're also going to compare his damage against the strongest nuker in the game, Belton, for direct damage, and I'll say his damage is on par, but Melchio brings so much more additional utility than Belton. So really this allows me to put him in God tier on my tier list. So I made a quick edit. If you haven't seen the tier list, go check it out. All right, let's go into the demo. Now I know this is in the trial, which means some of the things won't be applied. For example, all of the emblems won't be applied. So then the damage and the damage mitigation, won't be there. In general, what we find in trials is, versus the actual combat is actual combat, your units will be hitting a bit harder. The second part is you don't have auras. Auras are going to make a big difference also. What I have done here is I've synced all of the units to my own in terms of their stats. With the exception of Lydia, I made Lydia a lot stronger, and I made Melchio at something reasonable as well. So let's quickly check out their stats. Okay, so on my side, these are the actual stats of my heroes. Okay, so they're properly tuned. The only thing I've done with Melchio is I decided to build him as a Bisiden nuker, which is very attainable with these stats. When I was doing the Bisiden nukes with my Geeliman, I was well over 300% crit damage, around 47,000 attack at the 50 crit rate mark. But because I need to give him a little bit of speed, a little bit of effect hit, I thought this will probably be reasonable for most people to attain. Um, let's go over to the enemy Lydia. I put the Lydia at 4,000 attack, 100% crit, and 300 crit damage, which is pretty high. I mean, the think this was unnecessary, but I think it's just with the previous hero that was replacing that spot, so I don't care about the speed. We're about to really see the damage here from Melchio. You can see the HP is really high due to the Nordak buff, but these are realistic HPs, and that is a lot of HP, defense, and tenacity buff, all of that to go through. We're using a non-Lydia team here, by the way, so if you haven't checked out my my struggles against Lydia, I think this might actually make our struggles a little bit easier. And all of these heroes, with the exception of Bunny, is attainable for everybody. Um, but I feel like Bunny is kind of, a key piece to the puzzle here a bit. So for all the E3 Bunny users out there, your direct damage nuking capabilities have just gotten a lot stronger. So we're going to showcase it first, and then we're going to explain Melchio's skill a little bit, but I think you'll be pretty impressed to see this. So first, we're going to strip, and then let's slow down and watch the damage numbers. So at this point, Melchio's is going to be at overwall at about effectively 30, maybe around 40 piercing, which is very significant because you're ignoring 40% of the defense at this point. He's going to be a very high attack and high crit damage due to the buff. So let's take a look. He's 63. Right, crit damage is going to be that plus another 100 from here. He's got 25 piercing. His piercing is at 61% right now from all the buffs, and there's going to be another 25% when casting the skill. So he's literally going to be very close to ignoring defense now. Okay, the moment we've been waiting for. How hard can he hit? Bam! Something died. And I don't think I've ever seen a nuker direct damage hitting that hard on Lydia's. Okay. Now with the bunny, uh, uh, the red buff, you get one more hit when you kill something, and you're definitely killing something with some when you hit as hard as that. So at this point, easily knocking out another DPS, and there you go. You pretty much destroyed a Lydia team. Now, while we finish off this team, let's talk about what Melchio's skills are, and and what makes him super effective now compared to before. Um, and why is he so good in these compositions? One, because he has no cooldowns, right? His skills are rotating due to his buffs that he gives himself based on these charges: darkness, fire, and lightning. So that means you can't cooldown reduction him with Ben. You can't cooldown reduction him with Lydia, making him the perfect, you know, counter to the bang of the existing meta where, if you don't have Lydia, you're kind of screwed. I kind of demonstrated that the other day with my video. Yes, I have beaten most Lydia composition, but you guys are not going to have the same access to my heroes, right? But here, I've given you something far more viable. The game has basically introduced kind of a fix to the Lydia problem a little bit here. He's going to be able to strip the ridiculous amount of buff that's going to be stolen away, and he gets to strip this every 3 turns because he's going to get his darkness charge up every 3 turns. He's not going to be cooldown reduction, right? Um, he's immune to silence, horrify, and provoke. Guess which really annoying hero does silence and provoke? Donald. So yes, Michelle also completely shuts out Donald. We will talk about that very shortly with the demonstration as well. Um, but let's just finish this off, right? We can see that Melchio is going to be able to cycle back his skills. You notice, and this is the key part of the rework. Before, he had to alternate between ultimate level skill, then two basic, intermediate, two basic, then back to his level 3 skill again, which made him have a really, really poor DPS window in between his turns, making him very difficult to use. But now the perfect combo is you can actually start out with a level 3 darkness, then fall into a level 3 fire and into a level 3 lightning because he's going to have full charge at the start of the turn. And then if you pair up with something like a Bisiden or something like a Cthulhu or any type of those heroes or Ross, like that can give him immediately another turn. Doesn't have to be Bisiden, right? He's going to be able to use 2 of his ultimate and kill something. And he strips and nukes right away. Bisiden obviously is the best choice here because of the crit buffs, right? And the attack up buff. Um, you don't use a focus with Melchio, it's a waste because you're not going to be able to reset his cooldowns. You don't have to. That's the downside, I guess. You can't use his ultimate twice, but you never really want to. You really want to rotate between these 3 skills because they complement each other so well. Um, so let's finish this off, right? Like, I mean, the key thing here is once you kind of get your initial combos off, like all the other heroes are getting, you know, turn meter, you know, okay, wow. Lydia's a little bit annoying, so let's try to kill Lydia now. Hopefully this works. Don't disappoint. Oh, well. Maybe because, the bunny buff wasn't there. But hey, now we can strip it down. You see how well you can cycle this? Yes, my team is dying, I get it, but I'm pretty confident that, Marcello even, maybe let's try the Ling at level 2, right? This still has additional piercing rate. Um, See, ridiculous amount of damage, right? I think, we haven't really tested this skill 2 alone. Sorry, skill 1 alone could be very, very viable in just destroying the enemy compositions due to the ignore defense and how hard it hits. And the other part about Marcello, what's really great is you could keep using the same skill, and he's able to get his charges back very quickly if he's using the same skill. So you can see that we went from 1 to 3, right? So here, it's going through ignoring damage, right? So in Lydia compositions, the other thing um, why do we bring Ben Austin? Because we want to strip and be able to strip the target and single target focus, right? Well, if you can keep Marcello alive, he's gonna be doing quite a bit. Just you see, he literally has very low. He's cycling between basic and ultimate all the time, right? Those are massive changes to the rework, allowing him to have very little DPS down window. You can really take advantage of any one particular skill you want, just every other turn, as opposed to waiting like 6 turns to get his, advanced skill back up if you're casting the same one. Okay, so hopefully that kind of demonstrated his skill a little bit without reading through the long essay. I, I don't think anyone wants to read through these essay of descriptions because that's, you know, the game has made a really lengthy descriptions for these heroes, making it really complex, but really it's not. Um, let's go into lineup and battle again here. So in terms of what his skills are really doing, right? His skills are going to be rotating between the 3 different levels. But what you know now is pretty much you can always have one advance up. So making it really good to combo into a strip, into AoE nuke, and then you can single target finish whatever's left very effectively. Then we talk about, what his skills actually bring to the table in addition, and we'll get that. You will notice that we'll get these charges really only on his turn, so you can't stop him from getting charges. So once you get to his turn, right, these become the ultimate skills, and you can see that with these ultimate skills, they have additional benefits. So Thunder is ignoring all of those damage, right? Um, and Fire is going to be able to get additional piercing, right? It's ignoring shield, immunity, mortal, and he's going to potentially is reducing turn meter when it lands crit, hits 4 times. So potentially you're reducing each stage is 15%, an additional 10%. So Thunder, you can literally reduce 100% of the turn meter if you're critting all of them, which is massive. Because that's like you're getting another cycle turn. So you could Thunder 3, Thunder 1, and Thunder 3 again to get them to 0. We're going to show something really cool that he literally will bully a single hero and knock them down completely. We'll showcase that shortly with a Marcello at 100% crit, just to explain that mechanic a little bit more. When it comes to the strip, right, it's stealing all of the target's buffs. So yes, Lydia will, steal back a little bit because of the one passive you saw the stuff go back. Um, but nonetheless, it's a strip built in, and he's going to also add tenacity down, right? So really allowing for that crit damage to all of it to go through, counteracting the tenacity buff Lydia gives. Um, I'm not going to go too much into exclusive at this point. Marcello really, you want. Um, I mean, let's talk about the exclusive. I think it's easy to understand, a lot easier to understand than before. So exclusive one means, okay, you're constantly getting more stats. Okay, based on what you're casting, you're gonna get more stats. So you can get up to 40% effective hit, um, 40% attack, and 40% HP, which is very helpful, especially in a PvE situation. You can actually use him to, if you and keep using the first skill. So yeah, so if you want to go into a boss situation, you can just, I think auto casting with Machello got a lot better too, because you can just ban skill 2 and skill 3, and you can just keep spamming skill 1 against a boss, right? Um, it makes it a lot easier. You can even do skill 3 into skill 2 now. Um, so prioritize open with skill 2, then you go into here, then you can alternate between say skill 2 and skill 1 if you want, right? So there are, um, it made things a lot easier now, um, in terms of using him, even in auto casting too. I'm sorry that, I'm just, talking off the top of my head here. I didn't prepare anything in advance. I did do quite a bit of analysis on him in trial and talking to a few people who actually had him, before doing this video. So hopefully you're enjoying the content so far and the depth I'm going into, because what I really want to do here is show you in what situation can he be used and which heroes you'll be replacing, uh, as a better alternative. Okay. So again, I mean, we're just gonna show that wasn't a fluke. So we're gonna, just nuke down people again for the joy of it. And this time, we took out a couple more. There we go. So it's pretty much game over with a direct damage dealer against the Lydia team, which is unheard of before, right? So this time on the lineup, we're gonna replace him with, you know, the king of nukes right now for direct damage. And we're also gonna give him, a little bit of help with starting off with a strip. So let's try, you know what, let's help him out with Machello just as a strip, even giving the tenacity down, right? Like giving the best chance possible. Let's see what Belton's gonna be able to do. Because he is really, the number one in AoE direct damage right now. So just to make sure the stats are right, I've, ridiculously given him a lot of speed. Hopefully he should be able to strip before the other hero. I think. Bad feeling he's not going to be able to, but I think that he should be speed wise. Yeah, 2000. Yeah, he should be able to. So then Bunny will go, and then we'll do the Belton nuke. Okay, so we're gonna do the Belton nuke. Oh, I have a feeling that. Okay, we're gonna give Belton the. Okay, good. So now we're gonna open with a strip, even giving the tenacity down. I hate my own panda. Uh, we'll have to try that again. Let's quickly do edit attributes here. Okay, so hold on. So why don't we do it this way? Um, maybe the developer could help retain the stats a little bit better, because honestly, it's very, very annoying to work with these. I think if we slow it down just a little bit to 750 maybe, and then want to make sure that we're not screwing up any of the other stats. And you kind of really have to do this, if you're ever planning to do hero trials and testing a lot. One of the mechanic in here is you do have to save your stats, otherwise they come in with really low stats. Um, and you really have to, be careful. And then you have to load it in again, otherwise you lose the stats when you reset or restart. So you never really want to leave the battle screen a little bit. So here, let's get the stripper in here. I mean, we can let's put in a different stripper, because realistically you're not going to use both. So why don't we use a Jilly at a super high speed? You're not going to attain that, but the point here is we don't want to nuke Belton's not going to stand a chance if he's nuking through um, all those debuffs, right? So, but I think this time around, Panda should go on the enemy team, allowing me to, yeah, there we go, allowing me to strip. I'm sorry, this almost says I have to do an exact calculation here to figure out how to get the exact turn meter here. So again, if you haven't watched my speed tune videos, you really should check it out. This is that kind of game knowledge make it super helpful. So Piston's gonna get 35% turn meter, so 2000 divided by 0.65, and then we're gonna multiply that by 0.9 because Geeliman's going to get that trim meter as well. So Geeliman's ideal speed should be 172770. Okay, so 2770 means we will get perfect speed tune. And that way, when we battle, we're not going to have that little embarrassment there where we can't get the stripper to go right before the DPS. Okay, so there we go. Yeah, so speed tuning in this game is super important, and that knowledge is critical. See, we are perfectly speed tuned now, right? Just doing a little bit of math there. Okay, let's see how hard our Belton hits. And and you know, to help him out, I mean, or oh, right, in this situation, you also want Bissett to go. I mean, I think the other part about him is that you could, you know, reduce. Say you want to. This is what you want to do. You reduce. You want defense down some targets, hopefully, but not. But anyways, here's the big moment we're waiting for. Let's see how hard he hits. Boom. Yeah, so 800K. Compare against, you know, I think we saw around a little bit over 200K for each. So yes, Belton does hit harder in a single hit, I think, but you got multi-hit and you got to deal with the apple, right? So you're not killing Lydia team with Belton, okay? So the only physical DPS right now that can actually kill a Lydia team is Melchio. And thank you, devs, as you know how much I hate Lydia and how she broke the meta and how made almost everybody without a Lydia almost solutionless, you know, against these comp. Melchio, you are a blessing. Thank you for coming into the game with fixes so that you can now take care of, you know, the imbalance in the game. Thank you. All right, let's showcase some of the other stuff I talked about. Um, let's do something with about the lineup. Let's go into details about some of his mechanics that are really helpful. So first of all, let's talk about the common matchup we're going to see. Actually, you know what? Let's do this showcase first. Um, in with Donalding here because this is the other composition we see a lot of, right? This is the other composition we see very commonly in the meta. And we're going to just, you know, completely annihilate it because guess what? You can't do anything to this guy with a Donald, okay? Because you can't silence him. You can't provoke him either. Ah, see, this was all planned. The devs are very smart on this part in terms of hero design. So that's what I kind of really like about this game is as much as I complain about the imbalanced heroes they release, usually there hasn't been a time where they left the game unfixed for maybe 2 to 3 weeks. So usually it doesn't matter how great a hero is going to dominate the meta. We can see it changing with the introduction of a new hero. So they create a problem and they fix it with another hero. I guess that's how most gacha games make money. They cycle pretty fast in here. I mean, for the most part, it does bring a lot of different flavor. The PvP meta never gets stale. That's why I love it so much. And it covers so much PvP content because there's always something new to talk about. So let's see again the beautiful damage from Melchio. And yes, you have to target Donald. That's fine, but it doesn't matter. It's AoE. You're gonna be killing stuff, right? I think what happened here is compare against the other showcase is I want to make sure that he actually got the okay, so he does have the attack and everything. What's missing here is you do realize that I'm actually not sure exactly what happened there, to be honest. I think Donald does reduce your damage output a little bit. I have to go read Donald's skills. I think it does. Edif, I think Donald reduces their damage, doesn't it, from his passive? Anyways, I'm pretty confident that when we go into actual combat with all the talents in place, he's definitely going to be nuking through that, right? I mean, the damage we kind of clearly saw, it's definitely there. We're just going to try that one more time. Making sure all the stuff are there. I mean, he is at the right stats. The enemy doesn't have some ridiculous amount of. Okay, I mean that Donald's. I mean, I guess yeah. Okay, we'll try that one more time. I mean, he does have reduced damage to Donald. I mean, everybody else is tanky as heck. Maybe Donald got lucky because he stole the right buffs. Who knows? Let's try that one more time. Pretty sure Donald's gonna die this time, right? Yeah, so Donald did lose his first life from that, but the problem is Donald do have a second life. So yeah, sometimes I guess we do need to be able to nuke through some of the other tankier heroes. But in general, like we're talking about really tanky stats on the opposing team, and we don't have the talents. I don't have Shield Smash Aura, right? Shield Smash Aura is gonna be huge on this guy, giving him another 16% attack just at the first base aura, and more defense ignore, right? What makes him hit so hard is the bunny the ignore defense, the penetration from your sanctuary from your shield smash aura. That's gonna really amplify the damage. I'm pretty confident that with him built, you're gonna see me use him a lot in actual combat. Let's explain his other mechanic that I want to talk about. But again, trust me on this. He hits very, very hard. Belton doesn't even Belton's not going to be able to do that kind of damage. Well, he's going to do the same kind of damage, sorry, but because he doesn't multi-hit, there's no way you're going to get through those apples. So maybe on non-Santa team, you could try to use him to nuke it down, but because he doesn't come with his own strip, you have to bring another hero to do the stripping, making it a little bit harder to get the right setup going. Okay. We're going to do one last thing, which is to explain to you his skill one. And now it's the Donald versus Melchio show, right? So, okay, I think let's just make sure their speed is the same. Okay, so they're both DPS. I'm gonna make sure I give this man 100% crit rate. I'm gonna talk a little about how his, sorry, that was embarrassment. Because we need to make sure he actually starts with this skill, and that's the annoying thing that we need to fix in this game, because if I were to restart with current setting, he's not gonna have any of his charges. But the way let's just assume he doesn't. I mean, you will kind of see he still turn meter reduces a lot, right? And he's gonna stun. So you can easily lock down a single hero by itself. Turn meter reduce back to nothing. stun, cycle over and over again, right? Like it's just ridiculous. And see the whole time, like, Donald, you can't silence me, you can't provoke me, right? This is a very powerful hero in that sense, right? Like, whoops, um, we can see him taking out um, Brynhild, right? Let's just edit attributes a little bit here. I mean, just give a little bit of HP so we don't die. Attack, it doesn't matter because we're going to be controlling, right? That's what we're focusing on here. Heck, let's give it all the defense in the world. Um, Hopefully I don't regret that. I think I'm going to regret it. Ooh, it's not that bad. Oh, right. Game, please fix your... That's why testing Michello is also a pain, because he keeps losing his buffs whenever I go edit those stats. But let's see if this works directly. So, see, I'm gonna be able to reduce turn meter fully on him. The only reason why we're not going faster is I think if we look at the speed build, Brynhild, okay, they're both the same speed. I'm going to reduce all of the turn meter back to 0 with a stun. I think Brynhild is just slightly faster here, right? Oh no, because the fact we're not critting. So let me edit attributes here onto crit. So we're gonna now at 100% crit, Brynhild is permanently locked, right? So let's try that again. Okay, so we're gonna give the Brynhild a lot of health. Now let's showcase again the mechanic of turn one and how useful it is to lock down a single target. So their speed, same, right? Um, yes, I know I'm gonna have to eat some. Hopefully I don't die. Okay, good. I'm not dead. Okay, so let's talk about locking it down, right? You're gonna start with advanced lightning anyways, and it's very easy to cycle it. So you took all the turn meter away, right? The target is gonna be guaranteed stunned. The four stage has what? The four stage has 100% chance of stun, and you have additional piercing. A lot of additional piercing here. Stun, no turn meter. Stun, no turn meter. Stun, no turn meter. I wish I can put a meme on here, the Keck W meme. That's how I feel about it right now. I don't know what's more nasty than this. So yeah, if you want an anti-Brain Hill team, let's go Machello as well, right? So yeah, I do have a very strong belief this guy is going to see a lot of play in the meta. Thanks to a special viewer who brought this to my attention and really requested this video and he loves his Machello. He wants me to make sure people really understand how his skill works. So here we have it, right? We can again. Thank you so much for staying to the end of the video. I think I said enough about his skills. You can basically cycle any two skills repeatedly like that. You can rotate between all three skills if you want, 1, 2, 3, and you could do that in the presets like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 in the skill prioritization, and all of them are always going to be advanced. So 1 into a 2, and then 3 is going to be back up. And he can't be silenced, he can't be provoked, he can't be horrified. So there you go. Good luck trying to silence me there, Brynhild. I just lock you down like that. I'm a jerk. I mean, Machello's a jerk. I'm not a jerk. I'm very nice. All right, so enough. Very lengthy video here today. Hope you enjoy watching it. Hopefully you get a lot of play out of this guy. He is going to really change your game as a stripper and a heavy direct damage nuker all built into one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Gandalf out.